Joanna. Good morning. I'm going to call the Ramsey Co Board of Commissioners of April 2nd to order. Roll call, please.
Fretham.
Here.
McGuire.
Here.
Moran.
Here.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Here.
Zhang.
Here.
And Martinson.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm going to turn to Commissioner Moran for our land acknowledgement this morning.
Right. Good morning. So every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contribute their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hopes of a better life. And some have lived on this land since time immemorial. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connections across all barriers of heritage and difference. We are standing on the ancestral lands of the Dakota people. We want to acknowledge the Ojibwe, the Ho-Chunk, and the other nations of people who also call this place home. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. So please take a moment to consider the treaties made by the tribal nations that entitle non-Native people to live and work on traditional Native lands. Consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. And please join us in uncovering such truth at any and all public events.
Thank you, Commissioner Moran. We have the agenda of April 2nd presented for approval. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Moran.
Present. Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Zhang. Aye. Fretham.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
And Martinson.
Aye. We have the minutes from March 19th presented for approval. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Moran.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Zhang.
Aye.
Fretham.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
And Martinson.
Aye. Next, our celebrations can begin. We first have up is our proclamation for Autism Awareness Month. Commissioner McGuire will be presenting. If you're here for Autism Awareness Month, will you please join her at the dais?
Please join me.
Good morning. It's great to see you all.
This is always such a great moment for us as commissioners on behalf of the board to do proclamations. And it's my honor this morning with these amazing people with me to recognize Autism Awareness Month. And so with that, I'm going to read the proclamation. Whereas autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a developmental disability that affects a significant number of individuals globally, impacting communication, social interaction, and behavior. And whereas Autism Awareness Month is recognized annually in April, aiming to promote understanding, acceptance, and inclusion of individuals with autism, fostering a society that embraces neurodiversity. And whereas Ramsey County acknowledges the importance of creating an environment that celebrates the unique talents and contributions of individuals with autism, and strives to build a community that is inclusive and supportive. And whereas raising awareness about autism helps dispel misconceptions, reduce stigma, and encourage a culture of acceptance, fostering an atmosphere where individuals with autism can thrive. And whereas Ramsey County recognizes the significance of collaborating with local organizations, schools, businesses, and the community to promote education, acceptance, and support for individuals with autism and their families. Now, therefore be it proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners hereby declares the Support for Autism Awareness Month in April 2024 and urges all residents to participate in activities and initiatives that promote understanding, acceptance, and inclusion of individuals with autism. And be it further proclaimed, Ramsey County encourages educational institutions, businesses, and community organizations to engage in activities that raise awareness about autism, provide resources, and create an inclusive environment for individuals with autism. And I have this.
Yes. We have Autism Minnesota with us and other staff. Yes, please. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here today to be part of this proclamation. I've been working with autism for the last 30 years, and I have to say, I have to give kudos to our staff, ADS and Min Choices. They're doing a phenomenal job working with families and individuals to make their life what it should be. There's no ceiling to what they can do, and they're living their best lives. And so I have to, again, hand it to our case managers and our staff for working so hard and so diligently, and their passion is for autism. So for us, autism is every day. It's not just in April. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Anyone again, everyone should introduce themselves.
Yes.
Good morning. My name is Jillian Nelson. I'm the Community Resource and Policy Advocate for the Autism Society of Minnesota. I'm also an autistic adult and a Ramsey County Disability Service recipient. Thank you for acknowledging autism this month, and Ramsey County and Mayor Carter's substantial work towards creating an inclusive community for people with autism and considering accessibility in Ramsey County above and beyond the standard of the ADA. We are continuously appreciative of Ramsey County for being an exceptional place to live, work, and thrive as a person with autism. And thank you for this acknowledgement today.
Thank you so much, Jillian. Would everyone introduce themselves and tell us what department you're working in, if you're staff or what organization?
Susie Littrell-Levy, Aging Disability Services Supervisor.
Excellent.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Anna Gata. I am a pediatric nurse practitioner. I am also the director of North Star Care Connections. We are a trusted messenger, and we do community education surrounding autism, early symptoms, early interventions and evaluations. So to have the commissioners here in Ramsey County acknowledge this is very important, not just to the community and to those that are affected by autism, but also to those that advocate and do the outreach in the community. So I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate everyone that is here today. This is a very important acknowledgement. So I thank you all.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Christy O'Connell. I'm with Lake Owasso Residents. At Lake Owasso Residents in Ramsey County, we provide behavioral services for individuals with many different disabilities, but especially autism. We try to help them become the best individuals that they can be in society, because most of the individuals that come to us struggle with behavior issues, and being able to give them those opportunities is extra special. Some of our individuals stay forever, and some other individuals are able to go on and live in smaller settings, which is a huge, huge blessing for them, for their families, and for everyone else. And I really appreciate that you are honoring autism this month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for your work at Lake Owasso.
Good morning. My name is Annie Porbeni. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer. I'm actually the chair for CIMI, our Differently Abled Employees, and so I'm here to support our group here. Susie is right. Autism is every day.
Yes.
Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Parveni.
Good morning. I'm Lynn Kincaid. I'm the co-lead for CIMI, Supported Employees Efforts Manifest Equity. They are employees of Ramsey County. some of the best and the brightest. And I'm guardian of one of them. Her name is Lorna White, and I work with the FAS Financial Assistance Services with Ramsey County. I'm an employee.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edwin, and I actually work for Lake Owasso residents as well as a behavior analyst.
Excellent.
Yes, thank you.
Nice. Thank you all for being here. I am going to go around the table because there's lots of comments. So Commissioner Fetham.
I just want to thank you all for being here and recognizing neurodivergence. As someone who is neurodivergent, raising neurodivergent children, I think we we forget about the spectrum of difference, and it exists for brain functionality. It exists for those of us who are introverted or extroverted, more direct, less direct, all of these different preferences. And when we talk about the work that we're doing to be more equitable and inclusive, it is not just about how we look, but how we act and prefer and need to be supported and understood in the workplace. And the more we can recognize that the benefits of having people who think differently, not just people from different experiences, though that's important, but also just different brain functionality, we can become better with that recognition and that acceptance and not judging it as right or wrong, but recognizing it as different. So thank you for the work that you're doing and CME is doing in that, and for being here today to recognize.
Excellent. Thank you. Commissioner Reinhardt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to, well, first of all, you said that very eloquently, so I don't know that I can improve on that, or I don't even try. But I just think it's so important, obviously, the awareness. I mean, when I was growing up, there were clearly issues that no one recognized. And so it's not only recognizing, but understanding the spectrum. And the work that's being done, raising awareness and on helping folks work through the communication skills, what they need to be social in our world, I think is so incredibly important. I also want to thank Tom Snell from White Bear Lake, is a strong advocate, and he reached out to my office a couple months ago to make sure that we had the language and everything that we needed for this. So I wanted to give kudos to him too. He's an amazing advocate.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinhardt. Thank you all for being here. As a mom, I wasn't going to do this. With adult son with autism who's nonverbal, it is every day. This is really important. So thanks to Commissioner Reinhardt's office for leading the charge to make sure that we had a proclamation and we did this work. I have my shirt on. Because autism is every day. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for your work. We continue to make sure that we have a place that everyone in Ramsey County is valued and can thrive, regardless of their ability and their unique abilities. And we want to make sure that we're really investing in people. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks. Let's do a photo. Yes.
Madam Chair, I feel like you should be up here with your shirt for sure.
Sure.
We could create a bingo card for all the times the chair cries at our meetings.
Blackout bingo.
Pretty quick blackouts. All right. We have another proclamation with some more extraordinary people in Ramsey County, and that's our National Public Health Week that seems like every day is Public Health Day. So please join Commissioner Moran for this proclamation.
Yes.
We got so used to seeing you every day that we've kind of missed you. So feels like a reunion a little bit.
Do you have all of your questions
Where's our list?
What's the latest on?
I love it.
Excellent.
All right, well, good morning again. I am really excited to be able to present this proclamation this morning for so many reasons. One is that just thinking about public health in all its form, whether it's a physical, mentally, social, emotional, it all has a role in the work that we do here at Ramsey County, but also the staff that is delivering these services to individuals and families across Ramsey County. One of the things that I've been thinking heavily about when we talk about public health is how to have and to look at the work that Ramsey County is doing, will continue to do and hope to do around trauma-informed policies and practices and what that looks like, right? Because self-care is so important as we do the work that is heavy work. And so I'm excited about this proclamation today. So St. Paul and Ramsey County Public Health has 9 divisions and have over 300 total staff who work closely with community members, partners, and organizations. We are joined this morning by staff and members of the department leadership team to celebrate the work and continued impact of public health staff during National Public Health Week. We're recognizing you guys. This is awesome. So we're going to read through the proclamation real quick, or slowly. Whereas the week of April 1st through the 7th, 2024 is National Public Health Week. And the 2024 theme is protecting, connecting, and thriving. We are all public health. And whereas the goal of the National Public Health Week is to recognize the contributions of public health in improving the health of all people and achieving racial and health equity. And whereas St. Paul Ramsey County Public Health supports residents and communities all throughout the state of Minnesota and is made up of administration, clinical services, correction health, emergency preparedness and response, environmental health, family health, health communities, recycling and energy. Who would have thought recycling and energy? And WIC divisions. And whereas understanding racism as a public health crisis is fundamental to addressing other vital health outcomes, such as chronic disease prevention, maternal, child, and adolescent health, investigating and containing infectious diseases, injuries and violence prevention, opioids and substance abuse, and environmental justice. And whereas strengthening the public health system and workforce is vital to transforming a system that continues to improve processes, policies, and practice focused on awareness, education, outreach, prevention, promoting wellness, providing cultural Pacific services, and including voices from the community most impacted. So now, therefore, it be proclaimed that the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners declares the week of April 1st through April 7th of 2024 as Public Health Week in Ramsey County, and be it further proclaimed that Ramsey County Board of Commissioners recognizes the efforts and the impact of St. Paul Ramsey County Public Health and its partners in improving the health of our community, which is people. Yeah. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Moran. I am Diane Holmgren, Interim Deputy Director for Public Health. Sarah Holly is not able to be with us today, so I'm standing in for her. And I would just like to thank you for the kind words and the proclamation. And before we get started with anything else, if we can just introduce our staff.
Sure.
So you can see who's here.
Yeah, come on up.
Good morning. My name is Charity Clemens. I'm a contract manager.
Morning. My name's Dr. Lynn Ogawa. I'm Medical Director for St. Paul Ramsey County Public Health.
Good morning, Ray Eden Frank. I'm Deputy Director of the Center for Public Health Practice and Protection.
Good morning, Sia Zhang, Planning Manager with Public Health.
Good morning, Jennifer Wingmore, Adult Recreation Cannabis Coordinator.
Good morning, Michaela Campbell, Project Coordinator.
Sorry, I don't work with public health anymore, but County Jason Yang, County Manager's Office, and I worked in public health when we rolled out vaccines in 2021.
Excellent. We're all public health.
I was just going to say that, yeah. And you never leave. You keep coming back when you're public health. So I also do want to acknowledge all the other staff that aren't here. This is a small but mighty group of our staff, but we have many other people, as Commissioner Moran noted, who are back doing our work. The theme for this year, as you've heard for National Public Health Week, Protecting, Connecting, and Thriving, we are all public health, focuses on the work of our staff through our various programs, services, and partnerships with other Ramsey County departments and with community agencies as well. Because truly, we are all public health, and we work together. This is an opportunity to recognize the work of public health as we carry out our foundational public health responsibilities with a focus on race and health equity. Particularly, we work to protect the health of people and the environment through our work in emergency preparedness and response, correctional health, clinical services, environmental health, and work in energy and recycling. We connect people through our work in healthy communities. We help people thrive through our work in family home visiting, maternal and child health services, and WIC. As you're aware, we recently achieved reaccreditation from the National Public Health Accreditation Board that recognizes not only the stellar services that we provide, but also the high level of accountability demonstrated by our staff and our administration division and staff throughout the department that focuses on policy, operations, quality and performance management, data analysis and research, communications, workforce development, and planning. You'll be hearing from us in the next few months this year about our community health assessment and then our community health improvement plan as well. As we celebrate public health staff this week, we hosted two presentations, one on the Climate Equity Action Plan, which is on Monday, and on Friday, we're having a session, Zoom meeting on SOS on My Terms program. We think it's very important that our own staff know what everyone in the department is working on and the initiatives that we're leading. I'd like to thank you again on behalf of our staff and Director Holly for the recognition. We appreciate your support and your partnership with all of us as we work to improve the health of the community. Because yes, after all, we are all public health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane. Yes, Commissioner Reinhardt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And of course, environment is part of public health. And honestly, you don't have to, I mean, the headlines in the paper today, the PFAS settlement with 3M. PFAS is a forever chemical that we need to try to deal with. But there's so many other parts of what we do, and that's the reason, you try to reduce the toxicity, you try to reduce the amount of packaging and all of the different things that we're trying to do. And it's all about keeping people healthy. So I appreciate all the work from the maternal health care to the environment to everything in between. I mean, it's amazing the work that you do and the breadth of the work that you do. Right. And it is truly, truly appreciated. Thank you.
That's right. After all, there's a lot of things in the world that can make people sick, and you are all trying to prevent it. So
yes.
Thank you. No small feat. Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's really fitting that we have a proclamation declaring this Public Health Month, because this is also National County Government Month. And so it's appropriate that we say at Ramsey County that it's public health in all policies, or health in all policies here, because you are the basis of everything we do at the county. And so I know we're going to have a proclamation next week for County Government Month, but it's appropriate that we have this proclamation at the beginning of the month, because it is the work that you all do that permeates everything that counties do. So thank you all so much.
Excellent, great. And we're still waiting for the Dr. Ogawa Power Hour TV show. Just saying. Thank you all so very much for your work you do to keep us safe, healthy, and thriving in Ramsey County. Let's do a photo.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to all be in it.
You can. Well, I want to be in county government.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, fun's over. Now we have to get to work.
Now we get to
You're up. So I'm going to turn to Commissioner Moran for administrative items.
Okay, where we go? So item 6, I'd like to move item 5, appointment of Vice Chair of Rice Creek Common Joints Development Authority Board. I'd like to move item 6, award from St. Paul, Minnesota Foundation for a Restorative Outreach and Support Coordinator. I'd like to move item 7, intergovernmental mobility agreement with the City of St. Paul Police Department. I'd like to move item 8, funding allocation from the Minnesota Department of Human Services for Family First Prevention Services. Can I pull that and hear more about that? And I'd like to move item 9, joint powers agreement with the state of Minnesota for the disparity study.
Excellent.
And let's pull that one too.
Oh, and we're going to pull number 9. We're going to pull number 8 and 9. Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on the items we're moving? All right. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moran.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Jean.
Aye.
Fredum.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
And Martinson.
Aye. All right, we'll return to item number 8, funding allocation from the Minnesota Department of Human Services for Family First Prevention Services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Commissioner Moran.
So, Madam Chair, I just wanted to hear a little bit more about maybe what the funding would be utilized for.
Yep.
And what we're
Excellent.
doing.
Great. We have our staff here. Will you introduce yourselves, please? Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Bobby Jo Potter. I'm the Interim Deputy Director for Children and Family Services.
I'm Fallon Huynh, the Planning Specialist for Children and Family Services.
Excellent. Go ahead.
So the question is, you'd like to hear more about what we're going to be spending the money on or utilizing it for to support families, yes?
I'm not sure if I can hear.
Can you speak up a little louder?
How's this?
Yeah, there you
Is
go.
that better? Okay.
Maybe they'll turn
All right. So we are going to be utilizing this funding. Part of it is allocated to 10% of concrete services to families, and actually we'd like to prioritize a bit more than the 10% to support families. What we've seen in the past several years is higher needs for families experiencing poverty and those kinds of things. And so we'd like to prioritize helping people stabilize when we begin to offer services and supports for them. And so what that looks like is helping with some of those rental assistance. Housing is a big barrier for some of our families getting access to it, and some of the experiences that they've had over the pandemic has resulted in the need for further support in that area. Additionally, we are would like to support families with some of those food stability, right? We spend a lot of money in that area, so we like to stabilize families in that way. And then be creative with the funding. Really, we're allocated this money to support family placements or to prevent that out-of-home placement. And so a lot of times we do informal arrangements, and grandparents and relatives need additional things to bring in their relatives into their home and care for them. And so we really prioritize spending in that area. We're exploring other areas of training and some staffing, but really prioritizing the work and concrete services for families.
Excellent. Thank you, Bobby Joe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Can I?
Yes.
So just want to say thank you for that update, and thank you for the information. And I think it's really, really important because there has been like, I could just tell you the horror stories that I have heard and partaked in and been a part of kids being removed from their homes because of poverty, or a caseworker coming into their home and like, you know, this is a real story, and you know, the mother and the family have little kids in their household, and it's a hot summer day, and the fans in the homes do not have covers on them, which can be pretty dangerous, right? And as the caseworker looks at the house and scan the house and see fans throughout in 1 year, 2-year-old, 3-year-old with no covers, she decides to remove the kids from the home. And my God, I'm like, why didn't she remove the fans from the homes and buy new fans, right? And so I am so glad that we're moving from these places where we want to prevent and know the value of supporting families and creating more healthy and safe homes and give the families the supports that they need to keep families together. And some of the things she spoke of is a part of that, but keeping it open so that when those moments happen where a family may need a refrigerator or something, that we can go give them a refrigerator instead of removing the kids from the home, right? Some simple things that sometimes is not so common sense. But just want to say thank you and for your work and for the check-in.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Nice job. Thank you. Any other questions for anyone? Okay, with that, we will do a roll call, please.
Moran,
Aye.
Ortega,
Aye.
Reinhardt,
Aye.
Zhang,
Aye.
Fretham,
Aye.
McGuire, and Martinson.
Aye. Next, we have the Joint Powers Agreement with the State of Minnesota for the disparity study. There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Excellent. Commissioner Moran.
I'm just hoping to get an update where we are and what the process looks like.
Madam Chair?
Yes, please.
I don't know that those microphones are working.
Okay.
Because I'm having trouble hearing as well.
Yeah, I've asked Jason to help connect with our AV director to turn up the audio as well. Because I know one of the light was on when I went up to check it during the proclamation.
Outside voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Thank you for the question. So, as you all know, we joined with the state disparity study. They're calling it the 2025 disparity study. I believe there are over 17 other jurisdictions that have joined in that effort. They have chosen, they went through an RFP process. They have chosen Keen Consulting as the group that's going to be conducting the disparity study. We actually met with them yesterday and started sharing data with them to try and keep this moving. Once this is approved, we'll continue meeting with them. There'll be multiple community meetings. They're meeting with all the different jurisdictions with a timeline of about 12 to 18 months for a finalized disparity study.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. With that, roll call, please.
Moran,
Aye.
Ortega,
Aye.
Reinhardt,
Aye.
Fretham,
Aye.
sorry, I skipped Zhang,
Aye.
and McGuire,
Aye.
and Martinson.
Aye. Next, we have our legislative update. Back to you, Commissioner Moran.
All right, so
We've got her on task today.
So the legislature starts back up today after a short Easter break with the floor session in both the House and the Senate at noon today. Committees are hearing more budget acts now. The next deadline is April the 19th for all budget bills to be heard. And then, and that's when the omnibus bills needs to be put together. So, yeah. So our Head and Home Ramsey County Unsheltered Funding Bill gets a hearing in the Senate, yay. Health and Human Service Committee with Senator Marty, Bill Senate file number 4779. Chair Martinson, you will be testifying on that bill, so thank you for that, along with some of our providers and those who have lived experience will be testifying, which is really impactful and powerful. A few things from last week, since we didn't have a board meeting. I was able to testify in the Senate Health and Human Service Committee on our Ramsey County bill, Senate File 2960 with Senator Hoffman, where we are requesting $1.5 million a year in ongoing funding to support the work of the Ramsey County Youth Mental Health Urgent Care. This is hugely needed and important because often our young people are having an episode and they end up in the emergency room. And so with no supports, no services, and it's really just inundating the emergency room. The mental health urgent care was born out of a need for non-emergency level care and respite options for youth in a behavioral or mental health crisis. The mental health urgent care will serve adolescents ages 13 to 18. It will provide family-centered crisis support that is short-term and bridges to long-term services and other supports as needed. And the bill was laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. And let me just say, I didn't mention, but the work that happens here just does not happen with the youth, it happens with the families. And that is really important to have a whole family approach to this work. Our anaerobic digestive food waste project had hearings in both the Senate and the House Climate and Energy Committee. Commissioner Reinhardt testified, who is absolutely awesome on this subject area, on both times, along with Washington County Commissioner Fran Myron. Senate File 4889 with Senator Mitchell, and the companion bill is House File 4738 with the chief author being Representative Hollins. Requested funding from the Renewable Development Fund to support the construction of an anaerobic digester to process food waste. Investment in this facility will produce 75,000 tons per year of new organic processing capacity in Minnesota. The facility will produce 1.7 million therms, which is enough renewable natural gases to heat approximately 4,500 homes annually. Wow. So this will result in a significant reduction of greenhouse gas emission, almost 32,000 metric tons of CO2 annually, as compared to if food waste went into a landfill. We don't want that to continue to happen. This is equivalent carbon emission avoided from 7,600 cars. Commissioner Martinson, Commissioner Zone, both testified on two Ramsey County Pacific bills in the Senate State and Local Government Committee on Wednesday. Thank you both. I hear you did an awesome job, along with staff. We have Senate File 4655, Senator Herb, who is our Housing Development Authority bill that was heard and laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. The bill essentially allows Ramsey County to use some of the HRA levy for business assistance, which a number of communities have asked for. So that's the thing that we do here in Ramsey County, and work really close with community members and have some great partners. So to the community partners, thank you for your work and your leadership. And last, the Union Depot Passenger Rail Bill, Senate File 4741, with Chief Author Senator Pappas, was also presented by Board Chair Trista Martinson and Mike Rogers, Deputy Director of Public Works. This bill will shift the liability for third-party trains to the state. This is a cost to the bill of about $2.3 million, and the bill will refer to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Yes. Anyone want to talk about any of that?
Yeah. Do you want to add anything on your ADA?
Yeah, I was going to include that in the board update, but I can mention this. Really kudos to Senator Fong He, who championed this and made it possible for us to have a hearing and also to speak to some of the amendments. And that is from it's been several weeks now, but we've been having conversations with the mayors and administrators of our cities, city partners, to talk about the EDA requests that we have. And based on that feedback, we were able to make those amendments and had a hearing. So we're hopeful that it gets put into the omnibus bill, but there's still a lot more work to do. And then I'm also hopeful that this is a great lesson for all of us as we are pushing policy, that we have our partners ready and lined up to go with us too. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you again to Senator Fong He for allowing us to testify. Excellent. Thanks.
Excellent. All right.
That's it, Madam Chair.
Any other updates legislative? Okay, we will move on to county connections.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start with a shout out. Thanks to Keith Lattimore and the Housing Stability Team. Sunday night, March 31st, was the last night of operations of the Ramsey County Winter Warming Spaces. We ran those from November 15th through the end of March. Met a huge need in our community and was a significant body of work. So thanks to Keith, the Housing Stability Team, and all of our partners in that work. Secondly, I would like to invite up to the dais the members of the Young Adult Career Academy that we have here with us today. This is a Workforce Solutions and Human Resources Public Pathway program that offers young adults between 18 and 24 an opportunity to learn more about careers in government, to make great connections, and to receive additional community support from Project Restore Minnesota. The areas of learning include Parks and Recreation, Public Works, the County Assessor's Office, Election Services, and the County Commissioners. Other learnings include a customer service class at St. Paul College, resume and LinkedIn from Metro State, financial literacy, and other team building and networking opportunities. This week, they are learning about the Commissioner's Office. Yesterday, they learned about the board and got a chance to run a mock board meeting. I got some great photos of that. Later this week, they're going to have a chance to learn about the Metropolitan Mosquito Control District, among other things. So want to say a huge thank you to all the county staff and partners who helped make this program successful. This is our 5th cohort. And I'd invite each of you to step up to the microphone to say your name and share what you've enjoyed doing.
Go ahead, Haley, you can start. I'll start. You've been here before.
Hi, everybody. I'm Haley Woodard. And what I look forward to is learning like the political side of the commissioners and like the elections and stuff. So like getting a view on the inside of stuff that citizens wouldn't see.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Janesha Selby. I'm a current communications studies undergrad. So I think what I'm most excited about just working and being here is kind of seeing more. So I initially went in as like a public policy, political science major. So I'm kind of seeing more so behind the scenes. And it's kind of, I don't know, shifting my love for that again. So I think, I think that's what I'm most excited about.
Hi, my name is Christina Appert. I live in District 5, and I'm most excited about seeing how each commissioner represents each district.
Excellent.
Hello, my name is Valencia Taylor. I live in District 6, and I look forward to making new connections and gaining new experiences.
Excellent.
Hello, my name is Tony Bean. I live in District 7, and I'm really most interested in learning about both the history of the Commissioner's Office and what they've done, and how you guys look forward to both honoring and fixing the actions of the past, because it's always going to be evolving and complicated. So,
yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name's Clea Stallings. I think what I'm most excited for is to learn more about county jobs, and I've already been learning more about the jobs, and I'm kind of interested in some of them, so I think it's been good because like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I think seeing these jobs and learning more, I'm seeing what I'm interested in now. So
excellent.
Hello, my name is David, and I live in District 6. Something I'm looking forward to is probably finding an interest in one of the departments and pursuing that interest.
Hello, I'm Magnus Gens from Roseville, and my favorite part was revisiting some of the ice rinks that I used to play hockey at. So,
Excellent. And did they let you drive an electric Tromboni yet?
no, but I did get to sit on it.
All right. Awesome. It's so good to have you all here. It's really, we're looking at our future, so we're excited that you're here and that you're learning about county work.
Yeah. Thank you all very much, and thank you to Director Becker.
Yes, excellent. Thank you.
And that's all I have, Madam Chair.
Okay, excellent. We're going to move to outside board and committee reports. I want to start with Commissioner Zhang.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let's see. I lost my notes here. Other than the EDA, no other substantial updates other than I had an opportunity and the honor to attend, a funeral for Colonel Moa Su. He is a trailblazer in using radio to inform large geographical regions in the U.S. about military operations, reporting on how many bases were won or lost, and how many people that died every day. He also worked with Jerry Daniels to ensure that Hmong families were able to seek refuge in America. And he also spoke with many Hmong women who were directly part of the war strategies, including carrying firearms, to hosting nightly gatherings, to appear like a large, thriving community, to ward off enemies. So he was just one of those leaders that we are, of course, losing due to age and health. And he's one of our SGU veterans. So it was just an honor to speak and represent Ramsey County, to provide both condolences, but also to be able to share and remember the important work that he did. In addition to that, I also heard from women who spoke at the funeral and shared their stories about their contributions and about the pivotal role that they played. So it was just an honor to be able to hear all of that. And I think as many of our elders are passing, I'm not sure how, like this year has been really hard. Yeah. So and there have just been so many funerals I've gone to this year. Yeah. And so I just want to say that with this, our office has been very supportive of, helping our SGU, our Special Guerrilla Unit veterans find a place and a location for their future museum. They got state bonding dollars. But they need a home, so they have to find a location. Winona Yang, my principal assistant, have been very critical in making connections and helping them prepare for those meetings. And also had a really good meeting with Mayor Carter, who's very supportive too. So we'll get more updates as that project progresses.
Thank you, and
thank you
for supporting them. Commissioner McGuire.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to start off with a recognition, and I know we were just going to have him stand, but he's so far back, I don't think we can see him. So if Larry Fonder would come up and his supervisor, Christina Roast, that would be great if you could just come up so we can actually see you as I recognize you. So this is County Government Month, and counties do a lot of things, so I'm hoping like throughout the month we can totally recognize these. But how this occurred, and thank you so much for being here, is, we all get calls during the day. We all get calls from constituents, and many of them are, asking us, they're critical of something that they aren't getting done or whatever. But we sometimes and often get calls about the great work that our employees do. So we got a call from a constituent named Eddie, who was so appreciative of the work that Larry Fonder had done for him. He called me and he was emphatic that we do something for Larry. He said he wants to recognize him for his exemplary job well done. He did such a good job, I cannot even describe to you how many kudos this man deserves. This is a quote from Eddie. I need to know that this man has gotten everything he deserves. He deserves an award. He helped me tremendously. He's the only government worker that I've ever called to ensure that he's gotten something. I mean, he just wanted to make sure that we recognized you for all the help that you gave Eddie, and I'm just so grateful. Eddie continues with, he went above and beyond. He says, I just want to know that you're going to do something to recognize him. And I'm like, Eddie, we are doing something. And we told Eddie we were going to do this today, so thank you, Eddie, for calling and recognizing the great work, because so many of our employees do great work, but we don't often hear about it. And Eddie, thank you for taking the time. And especially Larry, thank you for doing the great work that you're doing. And Christina, I know you're his supervisor, but we're just so grateful to you for the kindness and the great work that you showed to my constituent, and to I know you do this to all of the people that call your veterans offices. And this is one of the greatest work that I think counties do, is with our veteran services officers. So if you want to just say a word, because thank you for being here and all the work that you're doing.
Larry's actually blushing.
So
Well, we warned Larry. First of all, we told him he was just going to stand, and then he said, well,
Right, well,
he said he would say a word. Yeah, so if you just,
well, I do want to just emphasize the fact that this is what our office does every day, and Christina has created a culture where we're allowed to do that. So one of the things we do is listen, recognize, and then take action for all of our folks that come through the door and need assistance. This one just happens to be one of many examples that happens, and people that are helped by my peers doing the same type of work as me. This one just happened to really resonate with him because he had tried and been turned away by multiple other organizations and offices, and even reached out to his congressman, and that led nowhere. But we were able to get connected, and within 1 week have his appeal granted. So it was just very fortunate that we were able to do that from our office, and that wouldn't happen without the support of everybody that's in our office and the team culture that we have. So thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Christina, please.
So I'll just say something. Larry's very humble. Yeah. So it was a very complicated appeal case that he took a lot of time and effort into doing. So I have talked to Larry about just accepting thanks. So we're working on that. Also, with our team too, we all bring a lot of different expertise and different subject matter experts in different things. So I think as a team, we all bring a little bit of something to make it even better. So good job, Larry.
Yes.
I love it. Are you able to stay for a photo after? Otherwise, I'd like a photo now. But if you can stay till after the meeting, just or can we do it
Just
now?
go right now.
But I want you in the photo too.
Okay.
I know we were going to try it.
You're kind of our bosses, so if you want a photo.
I know. I want a photo. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, this way. Yeah, you want to get it?
Oh, where do you?
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. No more. 1, 2, 3. A little bit closer.
I'm best from shoulder up. I'm made for radio.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, that was. I mean, we do get those amazing calls. Thanks again, Larry and Christina, for all of your great work.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good opportunity for us to, our job too is to catch our staff doing something right and call it out. And so thank you for doing that, Commissioner McGuire, because I think we're so used to fixing problems that we often don't stop and recognize how difficult and how much work goes into fixing those problems, and just show some gratitude. So thank you for doing that.
And I've been talking to our county manager, Joanna Bergen. We've been saying,
we're looking for more opportunities for the public to recognize the work
That's right.
that our employees are doing in a more, substantive way.
Yeah.
So we'll keep working on that. So
Mhm.
thank you for taking the time for that, and just for all the good work that's being done. So with that, Madam Chair, it was 2 weeks since we last talked, so I will try to go quickly with other things that have been going on. I did speak at the Parks All-Staff meeting. It was so much fun. Director McCabe, Chris Lankowski, Carrie Collins was there as the Deputy County Manager. They have such an amazing team there, and they did all the catering themselves. They made the breakfast and the brunch, and all the staff brought it. It was just so much fun to see that culture of the Parks and Rec people, and I was excited to be there speaking. Then also, Mounds View New Brighton Business Council met. They and Retailers Association did an update on the cannabis law, which was very interesting. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done on that. Of course, I think we're going to recognize, we've already done it, but the 40 under 40 awards recognition for Carrie Collins was so amazing, and I was just lucky to be there recognizing the great work that Director Collins is doing. Then Friday, I was fortunate to be at the Metropolitan Council State of the Region. I was asked to speak. I want to shout out to our Chair Martinson, who was also there. Thank you for being there. But we had, Chair Zelli, Vice Chairs, our own Ryan O'Connor was there as well, and we did a State of the Region. So I was able to talk about the great work that our county's doing, of course, but counties throughout the state are doing, and throughout the region are doing, and that was a really great event. Also, on Sunday, the Northland Cup, I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but with the many thanks to all the people that did so much work on that, especially Darren Tobolt, I know did so much. It was fun to see Joanne back from Jim McDonough's office. So that was fun, and I'm guessing we'll talk more about that. Also, I'm part of the United States Department of State has put together an assembly of local leaders. It's a venue for the Department of State to engage with mayors, governors, county commissioners, and other leaders on key issues that affect their communities. It's a first of its kind assembly, and we're meeting 4 times a year to address global matters that affect our local communities, such as climate crisis, public health, foreign investment, economic development. It's just a great group of people. And we had our first one of our first meetings about, they asked us to look at a draft text of the international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution. So, I mean, we're actually doing some really good work. Yeah, I was like, I'm so excited that you're picking that topic. So I was able to share a lot about what we're doing and what we want to have done. So I'm grateful to be a part of that. Shout out to Ramsey County. They presented transportation, our public works people, at our Roseville Business Council last week. And then we went to the Association of Minnesota Counties Leadership Summit. Was an amazing work of Brene Brown. She wasn't speaking, but we worked on her work. Dare to lead, choose courage over comfort. So it was very, very interesting. Then, really amazing, yesterday, Roseville Rotary, we met at the Ramsey County Library in Roseville. The Roseville Rotary donated $18,900 to the children's reading room there. So that's for tables and chairs and all of these things. So much of the work that we do in Rotary is, of course, do service projects, and we raise money for community projects, and they love our library, and so they gave $18,900 to the reading room of the library. So thank you, Roseville Rotary, of which I'm a member, but it was great. Then last night, the Climate Smart Communities met. This is a department at the University of Minnesota, the Institute of the Environment. They met and we talked about the top insights into the renewables revolution. So we're very excited about doing work on that. So I was happy to be a part of that. So with that, there's just a lot going on. I just have to give a shout out to History Theater doing their show, A Unique Assignment. I'm invited to that Thursday night, but I'm not going to go into it all, but it's a great show, and people should go to the History Theater and see their shows that feature always a Minnesota connection. So with that, Lions Community Service Day Saturday. So Lions clubs from around the district. I want to give a shout out to Lions as I'm giving a shout out to Rotary. Okay, thanks.
Commissioner Ortega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank you for that public acknowledgement You know, I just ran into a Ramsey County veterans worker who was visiting a friend in my building downtown, and we chatted. And I have two brothers that are veterans and many friends, and they always speak well of our veterans office. I mean, to a person, they're so they come up and you know, and I feel delinquent that I never did what you just did. And so thank you very much. That's very. Gold Line, we had a Gold Line meeting, and you know, it's we're coming to the end here. I guess we're still on budget, and you know, we're still dealing with, which is normal. We're wrapping up the parcels of property or easements and that kind of thing to finish construction of the guideway. But I think the big news is that March 25th of next year is the day we picked to open the line. So we will be opening that line on March 25th. The other is the St. Paul Downtown Alliance. I think the big note there is that they unveiled a strategic plan. Of course, the alliance was started, and we're participants in that, along with the city and the private sector. And quite frankly, you know, how do we reinvigorate the economy downtown? And public safety is a big issue that we're addressing, but there is a lot of good participation by both the private sector, of course, is very interested in trying to bring St. Paul back to the pre-COVID days, right? And so that's a good thing, but at the same time, it takes all of us to pull together, and still working on that. You know, the strategic plan is on the website for the St. Paul Downtown Council, for those that want to take a look at it. That's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortega. Commissioner Febo.
Yes, so a few updates. We did the Rice Creek Commons JDA met last night. I want to thank everyone, including Commissioner Reinhardt and our staff, for their patience as I had to deal with an emergency medical situation with one of my children, and they held the meeting because they had to. We didn't have a quorum until I got there at 6. So thank you, but we still managed to finish on time. And my kiddo is recovering, but we were able to get through our entire agenda and talk through what's happening. Of course, the biggest outstanding question we have is whether we will get support through legislative bonding from the state on the project. As you know, the horizontal infrastructure for this project is estimated to cost around $80 to $90 million. Ramsey County has already invested $40 million in this project, and we simply cannot close this gap on our own. And because we are really trying to push the envelope of what development can look like in terms of both how we can be very economically inclusive, but also climate forward in our technologies, exploring whether we can be net zero, carbon neutral, all electric, so many options. But also asking the private sector and business to close that gap when we know that being the first means there's risk, and business doesn't like risk, is also a challenge. We think this will be an asset not just to Ramsey County, but to the entire state of Minnesota, and we think it will actually be a national model of how things can be done. So we don't think it's a local project. We think it is a flagship project that everyone in Minnesota can be proud of. So we are still hoping to get as much of the $25 million ask as we can so that we can finalize the full funding of how we're going to move forward and get a deal done by the end of the summer. So thanks everyone for showing up and their patience, and we're continuing to work. Last week, as part of my appointment on Generation Next, Minnesota, our metro area Strive Together organization, we had an annual event at the Science Museum. I was honored to be able to host the breakout room on the early care and learning efforts that Gen Next and the state is working on. We talked a lot about the 7% solution, which is our hope to move towards a child care subsidy model that caps family contributions for child care costs at 7% of their annual income. Right now, child care can cost upwards of 20, 30, 40% of a family's income, and often what happens is families are forced to leave the workforce, enroll their children in lower quality programs for cost reasons, or the programs that don't really work well for their family. And the affordability standard for child care set by the federal government is 7% of a family income, similar to 30% for affordable housing. And we're so far beyond that. And right now, the amount of people we're helping with our current investment is very, very small. So there is some data collected. There is a framework for how to do this. There's been, last year, the Great Start Task Force released sort of their recommendations for what needs to be done to move forward, but this is something that will drive childcare quality, will open up the workforce to many people who currently aren't able to be in it, will invest in our youth during the time when the vast majority of brain development occurs, and do so in a way that protects our workforce and lifts them into family-sustaining wages, as well as providing diverse, culturally relevant childcare options for families. Also at the annual event, there was a presentation. The keynote speaker talked a lot about education research and the annual student survey. And I think in light of our public health presentation, it's important to remember that we often frame educational disparities as a school issue, and it is not. It's a community issue. Our community and public well-being is directly connected to our individual well-being. And when we can tie student outcomes to family income, community safety, this isn't about what curriculum you use and how good the teachers are. So continuing to push for an understanding of community well-being as the primary way where we're going to see impacts in our educational outcomes. Finally, Metro Mosquito Control had our executive committee meeting last week, and I just need you all to know that I'm getting dragged because we are the only board that hasn't had a presentation from Metro Mosquito Control. So if we can get that scheduled, so Ramsey County, especially because it is a huge public health service. It tracks this disease vectors of our ticks and mosquitoes, and the way in which we treat and prevent these ticks and mosquitoes also has public health implications. And I think Metro Mosquito Control does some really innovative things. In fact, staff there have presented not just at national conferences, but internationally on the work that we're doing. Wow. It's quite impressive. So I would love for us to be able to learn more as a board about this work, because I'm very proud of it.
Well, they just never asked, so now it's been asked.
Now,
it's being added to the
there you
schedule.
go. We're adding it. Please, I will let our new executive director, Daniel Huff, know that I've put in a good word. I still have yet to wear the mosquito costume, but maybe for that board workshop, that'll be the day. With that, I will.
We are counting on that.
Wrap it up.
Commissioner Reinhardt.
Thank you. Well, as we've been going around, I've been going, okay, that one's covered, that one's covered, that one's covered.
Yes.
But I'll just add a couple of things. One, with the mosquito control, they work so closely with Metro GIS, and it's pretty incredible because when I was a kid, if there was a disease carried by mosquitoes, it was metro-wide. I mean, you couldn't go outside. And now they, because of GIS and all of the information that they have, they can get it down to a neighborhood and say, okay, this is where there's an issue. And you really have, it's much more effective. And all of the things that they've done, I used to be on mosquito control, and it is very, very interesting. I also, the Joint Development Authority, the Rice Creek Commons, one of the things that I think we need to keep telling people, because they think about this project. Well, this is more than a project. And so oftentimes when people say, well, what about that project? And I'll say, well, you know that project is 427 acres. There's nothing like this that has been done. And so letting them know that it's bigger than downtown St. Paul, it puts it into perspective. It's huge. And the $25 million ask, honestly, is kind of small when you think about all the money that we put in as well. But we need to have the state's involvement, and this is where it makes the most sense on the Spine Road. The Gold Line, we had the meeting on Gold Line, and yes, the March 25th date, and I will be there. All of these projects have taken a long time, but rightfully so, to make sure that we get them right. That's exciting, because if I was there for the Bielenberg Bridge at 11 below, I'm definitely going to be there on March 25th of next year. I know that you're going to be talking more about the Northland Cup.
Yep.
I also wanted to just mention the 40 under 40. And it was such a wonderful event. And I absolutely loved meeting Carrie's parents and her family. And it was just a real joy to be there for that well-deserved honor for Carrie. The Clean Water Council met. The Recycling and Energy Board, obviously a lot of that has to do with what we're doing with anaerobic digestion. I noticed yesterday there was a news story on the expansion of our program, the food organics program. I can't remember which channel it was on, but I was like, whoa, that's really great, because people are paying attention. And obviously that ties to the anaerobic digester and all the work we've been doing up at the legislature. I don't know how the legislators do it, because I can tell you that I really looked forward to their break. So I hope that they were able to rejuvenate for all the work that they have left to do. And finally, I wanted to mention, Commissioner Zhang, when you mentioned the SGU, I think honestly I have two brothers that were in Vietnam. And the Special Guerrilla Unit is an incredible group of people that saved American lives. And just did amazing work. And what they had to go through, and their families, to get here, and the honors that they deserve, I think, are often not understood by people, because they think that, okay, well, it was one culture, but it isn't. And I hope that there's some way that we can raise that up. I mean, I've been trying to help with finding a location as well, but I've worked with them for a long time, had a lot of different issues, and I think it's a group that really deserves more recognition. And that's, I will end there.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Reinhardt. Commissioner Moran.
A few things happened last week. I'm going to talk about two, because they seem to be intertwined in my mind, if nowhere else. But I attended the National Association of Workforce Board Conference in D.C. Last weekend. And then the other one was attending the Heading Home Ramsey County biannual full continuum of care meeting. And so I took a couple of notes from the PowerPoints, and now I can't remember whether or not they come from the workforce or they come from housing. But I think they are really interconnected. And we heard this earlier from Larry, who talked about having a very clear message and purpose in the work. And so one of the slides I took says clear, and it's how to listen to an individual with intent. CLEAR stands for confirm, legitimize, evaluate, and respond. Confirm, I hear you. Legitimize, that's valid. Transparency, who you are and why you asking. Evaluate, I want to fully understand. And then to respond, now that I understand, I want to. And so that, is how do we get better at listening? So that was one of the slides. And I know this came from the continuum of care. And I took the slide of what they call hope. Hope, and what did that mean? The question from Dr. Watson was, what do hope means? and people said a lot of things, but his definition of hope is to have only positive expectations. And this is working with the homeless population or those who are struggling. Have only positive expectations. And then I had this other slide to talk about common traps in responding to difficult situations. And so the common traps is that we are too quick to solve the problem. We give cliche answers. We dismiss or this what can happen, dismiss hard emotions. We make it about ourselves. Oh, I remember I died, right? And then we are too quick to respond. And that was around common traps in responding to difficult situations. Sometimes we just don't know. We just have to listen and hold on to that. And so they talked about this resilient rainbow. And the resilient rainbow, it was 4 categories: safety, personal, organizational, and community. Safety is the physical, the psychological, the emotional, and feeling value. Personal is positive and open mindset, calm the brain, physical activities, and build your community. Organizational is growth environment, collective problem solving, transparent communication, and calming spaces. Definitely in the work that we do and our staff do in Ramsey County, you have to have those common spaces and those common moments for yourself to continue to do the work, right? And then the last one is community. Affordable physical and mental health care, living wages, racial and gender equity, safe neighborhoods, and quality schools. That's a resilient rainbow. And this was the most impactful at the continuum of heading home Ramsey County Continuum of Care. The slide I took was what people are telling us, right? And these are single adults, and this is what they are telling us. They want low barrier access to jobs, access to meaningful employment, and understanding of career pathways, residential work programs, transportation to jobs, felony forgiveness so they can have a job, change policies that suspend licenses for child support arrears, provide transportation to services, easier access to shelters, and detox attached to shelters. And I was just amazed at what came from them. It wasn't just about housing. It was about how do I get a job? How do I get access to be self-sufficient, to be able to take care of myself? And then how can these other dynamics be a part of that? That was like, wow, you know, it's nothing probably what we would thought someone homeless may say or need, but it was really around self-sufficiency. And how do we get that? So support services and programming is hugely needed. And then what can workforce boards do to support trauma-informed and resilient building approaches? Reducing ambiguity. Come on, give me that word.
Ambiguity.
Say it.
Ambiguity?
Building it,
Okay.
reducing it, reducing it. Ambiguity, reducing it in both small and large interactions, right? Provide staff training, focus on participant and staff. Help board and grantee organizations cultivate trauma-informed and mentally healthy workspaces through training and coaching. I'm going to repeat this again because I think what we hear, Madam Chair, that you talk about, sometimes we hear the bad things and things that staff are struggling with, because there are good staff doing a lot of good things, right? And you have to be able to stay here for years and years and have a pride of doing that to be here. But it's about to cultivate trauma-informed and mentally healthy workspaces through training and coaching. Access policies and procedures to ensure they are trauma-informed and not trauma-inducing. Let me say that again, not trauma-inducing. And destigmatize mental health, trauma, healing, and resilience by talking about it and normalizing, focusing on mental health. And so all of these was like interconnected to me, you know, whether we're dealing with a challenged population of the work that we're doing here in Ramsey County about homelessness, whether we're talking about what safety look downtown St. Paul and how do we create more safe spaces, but recognizing that we have challenges ahead of us to house the unsheltered, and how we also make sure that we are working to create strong and resilient staff members who continue to do this work, who feel appreciated and valued in the work that needs to be done. And so I just thought that, I was like, you know, and then how do we, right, as board members, look over and say, how are we doing what we need to do? One, to stay healthy and strong and resilient ourselves, because we are in many different spaces and places early until late in the evening sometime. We're meeting with different people with different challenges and emotions, and, you know, and so it is important. And so you'll probably hear me, and I know I had this conversation with my county manager yesterday about just looking at trauma-informed practices and what that means to just us to look at the work that we do through that lens. And what does that mean? What does that look like? And, you know, hopefully we're doing a lot of good training around that. You know, the one thing I learned as being the director of Prevent Child Abuse Minnesota in working with parents from across the state around the child welfare system, and learning that hurt people hurt others, right? Whether it's intentional or not, it happens all the time. And so unintentional hurt is really bad, right? When you don't know that you're hurting someone. But having those tools in your tool pocket so that, you know, we can be our best when we show up. Because a lot of the work that we do, I'm one who believes that county has a role to make people's lives better, you know, and a lot of our work is about that, whether it's housing, transportation, I mean, all the stuff we do so much to just be our best, or try to be our best, and having those tools in our pockets to do it. And so, I just want to end with one thing. I am hosting, along with, this county, city, and state partnership around the Minnesota Promise Act. And so myself, along with Representative Shamika Hussein and Councilwoman Nika Boyd, will be partnering together to bring the Minnesota Promise Act into our local businesses to hear from them. And the Promise Act, meaning providing resources and opportunities and maximizing investment in thriving entrepreneurs. Act is a new small business revitalization program that will, that will provide grants and loans to disadvantaged businesses located in certain areas of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and greater Minnesota. So it's really about helping disadvantaged businesses reach their full potential. And so we're going to host an informational meeting, bring in NDC and META to talk to local businesses, because we realize, and the state realize, and we know if you look down University Avenue, the corridor of diverse local businesses there, that they have had to really regroup after COVID. You know, after George Floyd and what happened to those businesses. And they're still trying to make their way through that, and then there needs to be dollars that are available to help them with that. And so we want to be a messenger of that message of what that looks like, and help them navigate through what city does, what county does, and what state do. We don't all do the same thing. And so that's a big, it's a little part of it too, just giving them some little information about that in the work that we do with the business sector.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Reinhardt, and then.
I was just going to say, I hope that our economic development staff and also workforce solutions are part of the discussion there, because it shows our part, the county part of what we do. And I think there's probably other departments, but those two in particular, I think it would be really beneficial to have their voice there.
Yeah, thanks. Commissioner Shaw.
Perfect. I have a second round request because I forgot to announce this, and this was made the news last week already. But I just wanted to thank, of course, our Ramsey County Board of Commissioners for sending such a great letter that the Heights got its it got its geothermal energy system funded by the Green Bank. So. we provided a letter of support for the St. Paul Port Authority's application to the Green Bank. And we were also one of the first funders in providing the environmental remediation fund for the project. And so, of course, with a lot of support from our local partners and our city and state, they got $4.7 million for the geothermal energy system at the Heights, and it came from the Minnesota's new Green Bank. So it's just amazing and impressive. The geothermal system would rely on heating and cooling from our Earth, basically. Yes, and so it will be net zero, producing all of its energy on site.
Excellent.
Yeah, so this is
Great.
huge.
It is
Thank you
huge.
all.
Thank you. That's a good reason to come back around. Thank you,
Yeah.
Commissioner Zhang. Yes.
Before you take us
Yes.
out, I cannot say we're hosting a community informational session without telling people when is it.
Oh. Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
So it is going to be this Friday, April the 5th, 2:30 to 4:30 at the Rondo Community Library.
Excellent, thank you. Good key point. Okay, so the good part about going last is that most things have been covered. I just want to add a couple of things. Commissioner Zhang and I have been making rounds with all of our mayors in Ramsey County, and we've been doing it together because we started by talking about our EDA bill, just making sure that communities understood what that was and what our intent was to be able to use existing HRA levy dollars to also do small development or small business support work. As you know, we got $2 million from Congresswoman McCollum to do this work and stand up kind of that advisors for small businesses and technical support. And we don't want to have a cliff so that businesses start working with them when we run out of funds. And so what we'd like to do is be able to use EDA funds to continue that program because small businesses in our community are asking for that kind of support. But we need legislation to approve it. It would not be a new levy. It is not new taxes. We wanted to make that really clear with our cities. And as Commissioner Zhang mentioned earlier in our legislative update, we made amendments to the bill to be very specific of what it's for. Our communities are very supportive, and we're hearing really good conversations. But in those conversations, a few other things have come up, which has been great. And overall, especially in our northern suburbs, we're hearing the mayor say, we need transit. We need transit, we need transit, we need transit. We want to build affordable housing. We're afraid to put it in before there's transit availability. It's about sequencing and not that they're resistant to affordable housing. In fact, they desperately need affordable housing. They're afraid to isolate people and put them in a place that they have nowhere to get around. So, and it circles back to the State of the Region that the Met Council held that Commissioner McGuire was a part of. They did announce that they have funding with the new tax revenue they announced the next 3 BRT lines, and they're beginning, this is why I'm looking at you, Commissioner Fretham, they're beginning a community outreach about where should those lines go. The mayor say, how do we do this? I said, you need to organize as mayors to make sure that you're in all of those Met Council meetings to get additional lines. The Met Council will begin a series of engagements. There's some online already announced. But I encourage our communities to get involved and to make sure that we're organizing, lifting up so that those next 3 lines could be in that part of the region. There are no existing, if you look at the regional map, there's a lot going to the west. They come to St. Paul and then it stops there. There's nothing going to our northern east metro suburbs. So really getting on board. And we heard that loud and clear in those mayor's meetings from Shoreview, Mounds View, Vadnais Heights, right? So they're all kind of saying the same thing. So I just wanted to share that. And really an opportunity for us to support that and lift up our voices as well. Yes. And then one more celebration. I wanted to.
Oh, I love it.
We should always end on a celebration. I wanted to just share. So we had our Northland Cup fundraiser 2 Sundays ago in the snow. It was lovely, beautiful day, great turnout, and we actually raised the most money yet to date, and that is over $25,000 to support domestic violence intervention. A little bit of bad news is we didn't win. And
We played a great game.
We played a great game. It was actually 5-5 when the time came up and they did a shootout. And so just by nature of a shootout, St. Paul was able to shoot 2 more goals, so it was 7-5. But really, it was a tie game.
Yeah.
So let's be clear.
Yeah.
So St. Paul takes the victory stick. But this year, for the first time ever, they got executive sponsors, and Medica put in $2,000 sponsorships, and they created an MVP award. And I was awarded this, even though I didn't play, but just as a supporter. But really, what I want to do is we had one Ramsey County staff person who scored all 5 of our 5 goals, and his name is Jay Weiss, and Jay is. He's not here. He's one of our probation officers and also a really good hockey player. And so I told him that even though I got it, I'm going to write his name on the stick because he was really the MVP of the game. So I just wanted to share that. And it really goes to our long time work to support the St. Paul and Ramsey County Domestic Intervention Project to stop domestic violence in families and resource whole families with responses. As you know, this work has been on the rise. Law enforcement is involved, and many of the players are from our law enforcement community because they know that they die in domestic violence interventions as well, and we've seen a rise. So we want to keep highlighting this, keep our work, and we will continue to do that with our partners, not just at St. Paul Partners in Prevention, but also at Harriet Tubman and our work there on domestic violence. So I just wanted to share that. So we didn't win the game, but we did win Most Valuable People for 2024. So thank you all to all of you who are supporters and made donations. You can still donate to Northland Cup online. With that, we are going to adjourn. We're going to take a 5-7 minute transition downstairs to room 220. We have a really great workshop, long-awaited communications and public relations update. And with that, we are adjourned.
Paul Regional Water Services launched an ambitious 10-year plan to replace all lead pipes in its service area at no cost to property owners. While lead is not present in water leaving the treatment plant, it can get into drinking water from lead service lines entering a house. St. Paul Regional Water Services treats its water to minimize leaching. This process, called corrosion control, creates a protective scale on the inside of the pipe between the water and the lead. While corrosion control is highly effective, the best way to remove lead from water is to remove lead service lines. Service lines are the pipes that carry water from the water main in the street into homes and buildings. St. Paul Regional Water Services owns the water main in the street and the service line in the right-of-way to the property line. Individual property owners own the part of the service line from the property line into the home. With the support of local and federal funding, St. Paul Regional Water Services plans to remove the entire service line on both the private side and the right-of-way at no cost to customers. Participation in the lead-free SPRWS program is completely voluntary, and customers are strongly encouraged to remove their lead lines when offered the opportunity. At the project start in 2023, about 26,000 lead service lines